Hi, Paige. All right, let's go ahead. I was just reading through your writing here. Um, One thing that is a little bit unclear to me is that you say, I wanted the warm sunset feeling with friends jumping in the picture to show how fun ladies' weekend would be. But there's a guy in the ladies' weekend image. So that's a little bit antithetical to that statement, okay? 35% off ladies' weekend, but there's a guy in there. So we got to get rid of him and maybe replace him with another girl or something. I like the concept of that jumping into happiness, and that's pretty interesting. I think one of the things that is a disconnect is the fact that these are definitely taken in the daylight as we can see shadows, but this is taken at sunset. So the shadows would be different, the lighting would be different. So you may consider replacing the background image with something that is more indicative of a daytime setting. I think it would improve the harmony and the consistency there. And okay, so we take a look at the image. Everything is you executed beautifully. I mean, you got this, right? But there are some things that need to be addressed. Now, let me go through. The required typefaces are Arial bold for the headline, Arial bold italic for the subhead, and Arial regular. Now you got Arial, you got some kind of italic here, so that you want Arial bold italic, and Arial regular for the body copy, and I would also suggest using that for the contact information. So we can see you're using a variation of Myriad typeface in all of these. So you want to replace those with with Arial. Okay. The next thing I want to mention is the orientation. So right now, this is, it looks like, let me see, we can go to the artboard. So let's go to Window, Artboard, and we'll bring up the artboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to check the file size. So we click that right there, come to this flyout and say Artboard Options. And we can see we're at 11 by 8.5. That should be 8.5 by 11. That's significant because that's typically the size of a magazine. The magazines aren't typically oriented in a horizontal um, a format. They're usually formatted in a vertical format. So this should be 8.5 inches wide, 11 inches high. By the way, when you receive measurements in graphic design, the width always comes first. Okay, so 8.5 by 11 would mean 8.5 width, 11 height. Okay, execution wise, like I said, I think everything is really done well. Your masking looks beautiful, placement looks good, everything looks fantastic. Now the logo is distorted, and we can see that. Let me show you something real quick. Let's open this guy up right here. And what I want to open is the original logo. And that's going to open as a PDF, and I can get rid of that. But let's see, you've got that purple logo in here. So we can just come down here, take a look at that purple logo and compare it to this logo here that you're using. And we can see that this is much taller and more narrow. So this has been distorted. Let me show you what happened. When you placed the logo, you likely resized it. When you resized it, you selected it, right, and grabbed one of the corner bounding boxes and dragged it to resize it. Now watch what happens if I grab the corner bounding box and try to resize. Look how distorted it can become. I'm going to Command Z that. I want to show you how to, once you place it, you want to resize it. Select it, drag your cursor over the bounding box, hold your Shift key down, and now you can see it constrains those proportions. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure there's no distortions associated there. I'm not sure this is the best logo for placement here because we can't read the bottom in that busy background of the image. So you might consider a different logo there. Okay, other than that, I think we're really looking great. I would also recommend you've got this. You don't need that black there. I mean, if you're looking for visibility, you don't need that black. I think that creates more uncomfortable visual stress. I'm talking about that offset type in the back. I don't think you need it. I think that color works perfectly. As a matter of fact, I think white or light gray would work even better. What you want to do here is take this subhead and left align it with the headline and establish a nice left margin. So what we can do is we can take this, and let me just show you something really quick. What I'm going to do here is something really quick. I'm going to work very quickly here. So we take this, and we take this guy right here, left align it. Then we make sure that the body copy is also in left alignment. And then we take the address and make sure that's all. That'll establish a beautiful left margin. We can take this guy, reduce the size, bring him over here, and we can see we're already looking better. I'm thinking that these masked images might look better on the left-hand side of the image, in which case we can take this body copy information we can take the logo, move it up, and bring the body copy for the location right down there. Okay, and as you can see, we're really starting to look pretty good here. So those are some recommendations for consideration. I'd like to see now I can see why this was placed at the right hand side, because she doesn't have a foot. So yeah, that's going to create a problem. So uh, okay, so you've got my recommendations and some suggestions for improvement. So at this point, if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know. But you're there. I mean, as far as execution goes, you got it. I mean, you're executing beautifully. Um, I do notice one thing though, and I want to jump back in here. Oh, no, no, yeah, yeah, everything's looking great. So those are my recommended changes. If you can want to go ahead and make those changes, I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission. And just for the heck of it, I want to show you how nicely this is going to look in white. Okay, see that? We can even take that and do it more of an off, like a gray color. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out how I can get a gray color in there, but I can't do it right off. I'm trying to do this quickly, but so think about that. Think about that being like a very super light gray instead of white, and you can take the same color for the actual. See that? Okay, so you see how now it doesn't advance as much in the composition. So see how much the white, see how the white just kind of really leans forward. So that's optional, but I just wanted to show you that. Anyways, those are my recommendations. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if I can make any necessary clarifications, please let me know, and I'll be glad to do so. But I would like to see those changes reflected in your final submission, which is, of course, coming up here quickly in week 7. If you have any questions at all, or if you want to make those changes and run this by me again, have at it. I'm here. I'll be glad to make additional comments. All right, great start. Thank you very much.